Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead, keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to have a look at your other placements because you could have messages there. And if you're interested in a personal reading, have a look at the description box below. I am running a promotion for the month of May. So if you're interested in a personal reading, this is a good time to get one. Okay, let's get started. We're going to do a Celtic cross here for Taurus and see what is the current energy around Taurus for the week ahead. Ooh, love that. Ace of Wands coming out for you as your current energy. Very much taking an opportunity, taking the initiative on something here that's showing up as a potential new beginning for you. This makes me feel like you're getting the opportunity to grab something, to really grab hold of a new opportunity. There's a lot of potential here. It's an ace. So let's see what the obstacle is for you to take this Ace of Rods and see where it could go. See where it could lead. So much potential. Okay, interesting. So the obstacle here is that you're going to have to leave the past in the past. You're going to have to sort of get in the boat here and discover a new coastline. So this is really a card of, sometimes it's called the Wounded Warrior, where you're leaving the past behind. You're leaving a moment that felt very defeating and one that you're sort of wanting to just leave in the past. It felt defeating. It felt like it was not clear to you in terms of communication, may have been very misunderstood. You may have felt like you weren't able to express yourself, and it may have really felt like a big conflict, almost like a mental conflict or even an actual conflict through communication. And it's like you have an opportunity for something new, but in order to sort of really take the full potential of this new opportunity, you've got to leave some stuff in the past. These could also just be limiting thoughts. It might not be a conversation that you had with anyone in specific or a conflict that you had. It might be the way you speak to yourself. It might be a narrative of limited beliefs that you have to leave in the past in order to really take hold of this new opportunity. Interesting. Let's see what's top of mind here for Taurus. Look at that, 8 of Wands. You're really being guided here, Taurus. Like these 8 wands are moving quickly to point you in a direction. And that direction is, you're getting a big green light here to say, yes, go for it. This is a yes. If you've been contemplating something, this is a big yes. And your obstacle could be your own thinking. It could be your own limited beliefs about something, Taurus. You might not believe this is possible. And, excuse me, oftentimes the first step in it beginning something new is to believe it's possible. That's the first step, is to believe that it's possible, right? Excuse me. Let's see what's driving this. What's at the base of this? What's driving this reading right now? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So Queen of Pentacles energy, to me, is very resourceful, very resilient, and self-reliant. Queen of Pentacles energy, when it shows up in reverse, can be challenged in those areas, challenged to be resourceful, challenged to see that you can yourself be very resourceful and sort of creative in how you establish your resourcefulness. And so this to me sort of feels like one example of these 4 cards in a dynamic could be that you want to start your own business. Okay, and that's the Ace of Wands, and you feel intuitively guided to go for it. But then you have this limited belief that says, well, I don't have enough money to start my own business. I don't have the resources to start my own business, or maybe you want to go back to school. Well, I don't have the money to go back to school, so I can't. It's like you have this inspiration and then you immediately douse it put out the fire of that wand by saying, I can't, I don't have, there isn't enough, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have resources, I don't have something, you know, like this is showing me that that limited belief you could be hanging on to is lack. And seeing the Queen of Pentacles, even in reverse here, shows me that resourcefulness is the key here, and that you might not realize how resourceful you truly are, and that there may be a way to accomplish something and you're not giving it a fair look because you're immediately looking at what you don't have to get it going. You know what I mean? This is interesting. Bottom of the deck is the Lovers. So it sort of makes me feel like you're being guided to make a choice here that really resonates with you, something authentic, choosing the path that feels the one that you're being guided towards with this Eight of Wands. And so it's very interesting, this reading. Let's see what the past influences have been here for you. Really being guided to leave behind that narrative. Page of Pentacles. So you may have planted a seed. You may have tried something in the past and sort of planted a seed here for a new opportunity, and it's bloomed into this Ace of Wands. And now that you have sort of this potential opportunity that you could go for, you're limiting yourself. And it's interesting. It's I feel like you're being guided to just keep exploring how to do it, because I think that it showed up in your reading because it is possible. You just have to maybe look at things from a different perspective. Let's see what comes through in the upcoming influences. Look at that, Queen of Rods. So there's that creative expression of your authentic self. And it's coming through with the Seven of Swords in reverse, which tells me that you know, even carrying into the future, you're going to feel like, yeah, you know, this is something I really feel like I could do well. But there's these limited beliefs that you're almost denying to yourself that it's possible. It's like you're saying, if only I had blank, 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 then I would be able to express whatever it is that I want to express. You know, that part will be different for everyone listening. But it's like there's this self-denial, right? Like you're hanging on to these limited beliefs, even moving forward. And yet you have this amazing potential when we see the Queen of Rods. Like you have something to share. You have something to express. You may be a creative person. You may be an intuitive person. It's like you have something here that could reinvent yourself. I almost feel like this feels like something that is in addition to something you're doing now. It's almost like the next level. And it's like there's a fear to take that next level. There's a fear to start this journey because you've already decided that it's not possible. You've already decided that it's not going to work, or you don't have enough to make it work, or that it won't be realistic. I can almost hear you saying, well, it's not realistic. And it's sort of like, well, if you say that it's not realistic, then likely that's going to be what expands and it won't be realistic. But I wonder what would happen if you stopped for a second and just started saying to yourself, it's possible. It's possible. If I'm dreaming about it or thinking about it or inspired by it, then it's possible. You know, it's not in your energetic field because of nothing. It's there because of something. There's a potential, right? There's a seed that you planted, and I feel like it's getting this sort of direction to grow, but you've got to run with it. Really interesting. Let's see how you see yourself right now, Taurus. How does Taurus see themselves right now? Two of Pentacles. Yeah, you're all caught up in this red tape, and excuse me, you're not sure what to prioritize when it comes to resources, when it comes to time, energy, and resources. And so it almost feels to me like, you know, take this in the loving intention that I'm offering it, is that you're making some excuses about this new situation that you could explore by saying, well, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have the resources, I can't prioritize this right now because I have to work on prioritizing these other things that bring in money, that bring in resources. And so and again, calling that an excuse, again, I'm not trying to be harsh, but that's sort of how it feels. Like it's almost like, when someone goes to see a personal trainer, and the personal trainer's like, these are the things we're going to do. And then all of a sudden the person's like, well, I can't do that because of this. And I can't do that because of this. And so, I don't know if this is going to work. We may have to do it a different way. And the trainer's like, come on, you gotta try. And then the person gets a little defensive. It almost feels like that, like that there is something here that you could really get into that would allow you to do something that you feel inspired by. But you have to be willing to sort of cut out the sort of juggling priorities and just give this some focus. You know what I mean? And see what happens. Because I feel like if you have too many things on the go, then you're doing like a bunch of different things, but only at a fraction of the effort. And so you're only seeing a fraction of the results because you've got too many things going on. You know what I mean? Like if you don't focus your energy on what it is that you want to see grow, then you're sort of unfocused. Your energy is distributed around a bunch of different things, and it might not be enough for any of those things to really get some grounding because you're not giving enough of yourself to that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when we're doing a number of different things, you might be like, God, I'm not moving ahead as much as I would like. But then when you look at it, well, you're only spending a few hours a week on this because you've got way too many things on your agenda. So you might need to really prioritize something here, Taurus. You may really need to prioritize something. Let's see how you're outwardly coming across. Look, it's the King of Pentacles in reverse. You got the King and the Queen both in reverse, which is so interesting. I really feel like this is a reading for someone who's trying something new. And it's an addition to something that they're already doing, and you're not giving it quite enough of yourself. And you may be too financially motivated. Again, I'm getting this impression that you want to do something, but you keep telling yourself you don't have enough to do it. Well, I'd love to do that. I'd love to be a full-time artist, but I don't have the money to do that. And I have bills to pay, so I have to keep working 10 different jobs and just doing my art on the side. Well, doing your art on the side is always going to keep it on the side. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like, you need to pay your bills, you need to look after whatever, but it's interesting. The reading is sort of saying, find a way to be resourceful and prioritize whatever the passion is. Whatever the inspiration is, try to give that your priority. Make that a priority. Give it more focus because it may actually lead to more than you think. And try not to be too focused on the money, because I think that when we focused overly financially, when we focus too much on finances, we end up putting ourselves in a space of lack where we can't help but think, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. And that will self-perpetuate itself, and you'll always feel that way. No matter how much you have, you'll always feel like you don't have enough. Let's see what the hopes and fears are here for Taurus. Wheel of Fortune. So again, it's very interesting, this reading. It's like there's a part of you that is like hoping that this new project, this inspiration, this passion that you have will work out. There's a part of you that is hoping for that. And then there's a part of you that fears that it won't. And I feel like there's a part of you that's like, I can do this. And then there's a part of you that said, this will never work. And that's kind of like that Two of Pentacles, where it's like, well, where are you putting your focus? Are you focusing on it's going to work, it's possible, I got this? Or are you focusing on, I don't have enough to make this work, forget it, I'm it's not going to work? It's very interesting, isn't it? The whole reading is sort of guiding you to look at things from a different perspective. And on the bottom of the deck, we see the Hangman. And the Hangman has willingly tied himself to the tree of knowledge because he wants to see the different perspectives on a situation. He wants to receive the knowledge by looking at things in a different way, to see if maybe he can understand something by looking at it in a different way. And so must you here, Taurus. The guidance here for you is to look at things in a different way, because if you don't believe it's possible, right away that sort of extinguishes the fire of this. Let's see what the potential outcome is here for Taurus. What is the potential outcome of this situation? 3 of Swords. Isn't that interesting? You got to focus on this, or else it's almost like you're going to miss your chance. You know what I mean? It's like you're going to miss an opportunity, and then you're going to feel like, shoot, if only I had gone for it. You know, seeing the 3 of Swords tells me that there may be something that you're overly internalizing that is letting you give up early. You know, again, you're being guided here through these sword cards to move away from limiting beliefs, to stop sort of denying to yourself that something is possible, or else it won't be possible. Seeing the 3 of Swords tells me that this could be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it could lead to you getting further and further away from something that is really something you're being guided to pursue, right? And to explore further. Look at that. Bottom of the deck is the 4 of Swords. So many swords here. So this is saying to me, put your mind at rest. Recover from the belief that something's not possible, so that you can actually give it a fair chance, so that you don't feel later that I wish I had feeling, you know, if only I had, I wish I had. Interesting, Taurus. You're really being guided to go for something and to not see it as impossible, and to not convince yourself that you don't have what it takes, or you don't have the resources, and to not overly focus on the resources right now, because that could be blocking you from getting sort of an idea about how to get this off the ground. Sometimes we have to make space in our minds by saying something is possible and then not over analyzing the money, because then again you end up focusing on how you don't have enough, which creates an energy that says, oh, let me find evidence for how we don't have enough. So no matter how much you have, you always feel like you don't have enough. And that narrative is destroying the possibility of you actually working on this. It's very interesting, very specific message here for Taurus. Let's see, closing this reading for Taurus, what is the highest guidance for Taurus? That card's okay. So we got 2 cards coming out here. We see a leg up in reverse, which is really a card of saying, accept help from others. Accept support and help from people who may even be an expert in this. So you might want to sort of chat with people that are already doing what you're thinking of doing to see how they got started. And seeing message in a bottle confirms to me this idea that you could be receiving some good news, but you have to be open to receiving that good news. You have to create space for this to be possible. And that starts with how you're thinking about it. See all the swords? That starts with how you're thinking about it. So put your mind at rest and start to shift your perspective on this situation's possibility, right? Is it possible? Yes. Do I see how yet? No. But let's make space for that to appear. Let's make space for us to realize what we need to do, because it starts with you believing it's possible. Bottom of the deck is blessed. This is coming to you as an inspiration for a reason. Okay, this is not random. This is something that is coming through into your energy for you to explore further. So don't extinguish the flame so quickly, Taurus. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friends. Take care. I'm sending you so much love.